Okay, Leo, would you say the opening prayer?
Yes, I will. Our Father in heaven, thank you for this day, for the many blessings we have, so for the opportunity to gather together as a group and learn about the case that we have to study for this weekend. Please, we ask you for the Spirit be with us today. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
What do you guys think of this case study?
It was sad.
Hated it.
It was very confusing.
It was confusing.
Really long.
Yes, it was long.
I think nobody wanted to take blame for anything. They all had their ideas of how the things came out. Nobody wanted to take blame.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so just a quick synopsis. It says 7 months after the Columbia accident, the Columbia Accident Investigation Board presented their report on the causes of the accident. The board pinpointed the technical cause of the accident. It also identified organizational issues within NASA database. We also reported how manager might have behaved differently during the mission and stressed organizational shortcomings at NASA that contributed to the catastrophe. All right, I'm not very good at reading today. What was the Go ahead.
Your link is glitching a little bit. That's why.
Oh, you hear me?
I think we got it though.
Okay.
We all read it. So.
Okay.
Many times.
So when did the problems with the Columbia begin?
With just the Columbia or the whole organization?
With Columbia first.
Well, they knew about the problems early on.
Mm-hmm.
They knew about those foam pieces falling off, and they knew about that early on because that was a common thing with all the shuttle missions. So they knew early on, way before the Columbia, inception. I don't think ever really, they had their ideas. It's kind of, what is it that they say, proving that it's false, and proving that things are bad, kind of thing, their mentality.
Yeah.
I'm actually,
Go ahead.
I think I might be joining. We'll see. It works.
Okay.
Well, wasn't it on day one that the tile came off?
Right.
Yeah, and they actually even discussed postponing the shuttle's launch because they knew that the low temperatures would cause the debris to fall off. Or the,
Was that Columbia
whatever
or
it was called.
the Challenger?
The foam strike, yeah.
Yeah, the O-rings were Challenger, right? And then the debris was Columbia, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the first day, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, they had enough time to figure it out, to me. But to me, when they built those, I can't remember where it says that, but when they built them, they made no escape.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that.
Escape hatch or escape something.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a huge mistake.
Right.
And so I likened it to like how the Titanic didn't have enough lifeboats. I just feel like, why wouldn't they have a way out? I mean, especially from what happened to Apollo 13. And they had to go in there to, waited out while they figured out how to solve the problem with Apollo 13. But
Well, and what happened with the Challenger too, and they still just kept putting off trying to figure out the problems. You know, like you would think it's already really dangerous, and they don't even, you know, like they just kept blowing that guy off and blowing him off and not
millions of
giving him a
dollars.
picture.
Yeah, millions of
what?
dollars.
Oh.
Not just people. I mean,
Yeah.
people's lives more importantly,
Yeah,
not
right.
millions of billions of dollars. You're like, why is this run like super tight? Like to the letter.
We didn't really know if that was really going to happen. Because they had so many shuttles before that went
And came back safe.
Oh, you're on, Kathy.
I am.
Kathy, you made it!
Can you see? Oh, I guess I do have.
Can you see your shirt?
Yay!
There she
Oh
is.
my gosh. I'm at work, so I'm on my work computer.
Oh no.
I didn't think I had a camera. Okay, sorry.
Didn't think you had a camera.
I didn't.
Well, welcome
That's
to the
funny.
call.
On my work computer, so ignore the mess. Anyway, so I think, you know, they kind of knew that something was, I mean, they just didn't think it was going to actually happen at that point. But, you know, they kind of cut off all their, you know, they kind of cut back on people. That was a time when they started cutting back on personnel and equipment and training.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to do it on, you know, not following protocol.
Right.
Get away
And
with.
they didn't make a tiger team for this one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
Which I don't, it kind of said, somebody said that it may not have made a difference. But, you know, maybe it could have. It's hard to say with the lack of information that we have.
Yeah.
But if they could have made a tiger team and put it at the right level as far as what the disaster was, you know, like the damage done, they kind of just blew it off.
Yeah, they did. They just, it was just, it was like a, they didn't really care. It wasn't, organization or the priority wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm seeing. Kind of cool. Someone's having-
Exciting.
I know. Oh, well. So
My house used to be.
Okay, so the next question is, why did the debris strikes become an acceptable risk?
I think that they
Wait,
happened.
say that again?
Why did the debris strikes become an acceptable risk?
Because they happened every time and there was no problems with them before.
They've come back, landed safely, and they've had no problems with them before, with all the other shuttle launches.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just became a normal routine thing, so they just kept letting it go. Like every time.
Yeah,
I think
it's
this one,
happening all the time.
this one was a little bit more excessive, and they had the camera showing that. They just didn't know how to fix it in space. Once the shuttle landed, they didn't have the know-how or prepared everybody how they could fix that that part that had fallen off of the foam.
Well, it's true. And plus, they didn't. They had budget cuts, so their cameras weren't even that clear, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was part of the problem is that the budget cut. But I think training them properly, they didn't train them properly to, if they had to fix something up in space,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have that knowledge.
It also never said, I mean, they wanted to get military involvement, but it never said anything else about it. Like, did they ever get better pictures? It never said anything, but it did ask, like it showed that he asked for requests, and it took him a couple of days to even get on it, you know, like it wasn't that important.
And they couldn't pinpoint because of the cameras. They didn't have a good viewpoint. So they couldn't pinpoint the exact location of where those came off.
Right, that's why they're trying to get the military, because they can come and use the satellites to find, you know, get better pictures. So it looks like they didn't end up doing that, I guess.
And I guess they said some of the engineers said that they voiced their opinion saying that the damage that happened could cause catastrophic failure, but they weren't too concerned about that. And they said, well, we probably landed lots of other planes or shuttles.
Yeah, wasn't, you know, like the classification, it said, at first it was classified as out of family.
Yeah.
And then they entered in their log as low concern.
Yeah.
So they're like not being consistent with what should happen, like the protocol that should happen.
Right.
Well, that's the same with that Linda Ham lady. I really didn't like her. I don't know. Because it said, I found this, she noted the weakness in the flight rationale, but then she was more focused on, you know, staying on schedule.
Yeah.
You know, all of that. Or it said something about her moving up in the company, kind of. And so but I'm like, come on, the safety, you know, I don't know. What kind of person was she to not even like, I don't know.
And
I guess, yeah, they didn't realize how.
She's the one that said, and not really a factor during the flight because there's not much we can do about it now. Like, okay, if they die, they die. Is that what she's basically saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, how would you characterize the culture at NASA? What are their strengths and their weaknesses?
I think they turned blind eye to people. I think there was not one person that they all reported to. They had their different teams, and I think their teams all took care of a problem, but they're all different problems. They didn't come up to one concise problem to fix it. They all had their different viewpoints.
Yeah.
And they didn't meet together to discuss the possibilities.
I put it as like there was a lack of transparency.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that? Were you guys even old enough?
For the Challenger? Is that what you're talking about?
Columbia in 2005?
Oh.
I remember the Challenger too. But was it 2005 or 2003?
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, let's see, something I wrote about was the culture. They didn't allow them to question the engineers, you know, so that Rodney Rocha character in here, he could never get anywhere because he wrote that angry email and then he didn't send it because he didn't have faith that they would let, you know, like, and they didn't, you know, they just ignored everything. He tried. So I think.
Oh, what was their mantra? You know, prove to me that it's.
Oh, yeah. That it's not a risk or something like that before.
I'm trying to find it. Yeah. But I mean, that's what their mantra was. I mean, they, you know, I think they thought that they, you know, for those small engineers, you know, they knew more than anybody.
Kenzie said she couldn't hear me, so I moved. I turned it off and on.
Yeah, Kinsey left.
Yeah, because she
There she is.
said it was like, couldn't hear me very well. Are you guys hearing me
Can
okay?
you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's hers. That's why she's going off. Anyway, the other thing that I like, it seemed very bureaucratic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Bureaucratic. Where, you know, when you have transparency, you don't have to go through all these links to get the photographs, you know, even to look at the photographs, they had to go through all this stuff instead of just being able to, you know, share it all, the information, especially in nowadays, like you just see so much stuff, even like a Google Doc, you know, why can't they do it so that, like they call it intranet, where they can all see it? Like, especially if they have enough clearance, they should be on the same, they should be able to get in there and see what they need to see to make judgment calls. But seems like there's just, you know, like only one person knew how to get the photos. That's crazy.
Oh,
That's because of all the budget stuff that happened, and then also the equipment was even antiquated. You know, it's all old, antiquated and stuff. They weren't upgrading their equipment like they should. You know, technology changes constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had enough people watching the cameras, is what it was. They cut down their crew. So, you know, there wasn't as many eyes on it as they normally do have.
I know we've talked about some of the people. Who do you guys think is accountable for this, and why do you think they're accountable?
I think the whole team is accountable together. I wouldn't necessarily pinpoint one person. They all had disorganization problems. But I don't think it's necessarily a certain team, but that's just what I think.
I don't know. Well, you have the NASA in Houston. You have the Johnson Space Center and the Kennedy Space Center. Is that what you're talking about? Which one?
So, Hale, let me see. Ham is the one that canceled the request for images
Oh yeah.
after they were, you know, I don't think everything was all one person's fault though.
I agree. I don't think it was one person. I think they needed to have one person kind of manage it and oversee everything. So they needed to have the return and report type thing of what's happening, and so he could make the call, not have 20 people making the call.
It's true. I think it was everybody. I don't think one person's responsible, but
Yeah.
And then another thing it says is Ham emailed the JSC engineers to confirm that the foam did not pose a safety of flight issue. Their responses indicated that uncertainty still existed, particularly regarding the sensitivity of RCC panels. So, you know, that's another one that she kind of ignored. You know, so I really don't think it's all her fault,
But mostly. Just kidding.
it seems to be mostly her fault. Be curious to know if she's still employed.
What, NASA?
Yeah. Anyway, I thought Rotesh probably should have done more to me without, you know, maybe he should have over somebody's head if he really felt like there was a really big burn.
That's what I think too. Should have sent that email, or you know.
Yeah, like why write it?
Yeah.
Well, in a speed of trust, though, right? Just you need to have that one trust, that one person that can step up and be in control. Have trust.
Yeah.
With.
Go out. No.
so the next question is, what is the concept of team design?
Say that again.
Team design.
Could you say
what
it
is the
again?
concept? what is the concept of team design?
Overall, like I said, they didn't have the type. They didn't do the tiger.
Sorry, what was the question?
What is the concept of team design?
Oh.
Like some of the things that they mentioned are clear boundaries, a compelling direction and structure.
Sounds like a party over there.
Is that part of Speed of Trust? Is that what the organizational?
Yeah, all the organizational.
Like clarity. I don't have my book open, but
The team design is from Speed of Trust? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's not in the.
I know, I'm confused with this question.
Yeah, I am too.
I don't remember it though.
Well, it just says it's conditions that when present increase the probability of team effectiveness. So it gave clear boundaries, compelling direction, structure,
And
system that supports the team in completing their work.
I said talk straight and just need to have heighten their loyalty to the company too, with one of them, and have maybe a better execution plan.
Yeah, if they're going to design that team or organize that team, they need to support it, I guess, not just ignore them.
That's a big one. You have to support them. I think that's important.
Well, and I was thinking about the mission management team. I mean, they were supposed to meet daily during the mission, and they only met 5 times.
Yeah, I mentioned that too.
Even as a team, they were failing because they weren't following their structure and their guidelines to do what they're supposed to.
Yeah. I don't know if this helps with what the question is. It says, whatever your organization, within a larger organization or family, it's vital to realize that designing or aligning it in a way that establishes trust may well be your greatest influence. In doing so, you positively affect everything else within the organization. Does that help? I'm just trying to look up what they really want for that question, what he means by that question.
These questions are really confusing. I skipped some of them because I didn't even know what has been cognitive biases. That was one of the questions. The last question that they had is, what is the concept of psychological safety, climate, and design that affects team behavior and performance?
It's a lot of stress.
Well, that's the one that I looked at as like Rocha didn't even send the email. So he kind of felt like I'm guessing that he didn't have any power, like it was going to be ignored anyway. So that kind of affects the team design, that it's,
But did he just draft an email?
He just drafted an email and never sent it.
Yep. It just asks what principle, I know we've talked a little bit about it, what principles from this lesson's reading apply to this case?
Well, we did talk about it in the Speed of Trust, so.
Okay, so heightened loyalty is one of those. Because you said better execution.
Yeah,
okay, I see where it is. It's like increased value, accelerated growth, enhanced innovation. I feel like they have a lot of innovation. Improved collaboration, that's where they're lacking. the other one, better execution and heightened loyalty, those two, I think they're having, you know, it's hard to be loyal to a company when you're frustrated. You know, and, you know.
Well, I think you pointed out the bureaucratic nature of it. And in the Speed of Trust, it talked about how that's like a low trust organization. And so, you know, they lose out on the high trust dividends. You said that, yeah, they do have the innovation, but yeah, they wouldn't collaborate, and they could have embraced, I guess, the engineers' knowledge too, and kind of listened to them, and they would have probably avoided this whole thing. But, you know, who knows?
Yeah, but isn't that what they said happened? Like in the end, is that what you said happened? Was it was because the foam debris or whatever it's called? Is that right, Courtney?
Sorry, what did you say?
That's the foam debris.
Did the foam the foam or the tiles the reason why it, on reentry it deteriorated? What did it do? I don't know.
They fell off.
Explode when they went to reentry. They burned up. Is that what
They burned up.
Yeah.
So I had to watch a video on the people. Hey, can you do that later? Anyway, they had to watch a video on the NASA people communicating with them as they re-entered, and it was showing all the people outside that were watching them re-enter and then watch the spaceship explode. I'm not sure. I think it was the foam or the missing tiles that caused it. I don't know. It told me to tell you guys about that. It was because they were sitting there waiting for a response, and then you could just tell they all started crying, and everybody outside was crying because they were watching it. But it was, I think they finally realized, you know, that they made a mistake. They should have, you know, worked better together to, you know, possibly not even send this mission up at that time because they knew it was going to happen. So.
Well, they knew something was going to happen. They didn't know it was going to be this catastrophic, though. I think it was, like they were saying, they took a risk at the cost of all those people.
Yep.
Of sending it up. So they didn't know that it was actually going to burn up on reentry. They didn't know what was going to happen, but now they do. Unfortunately, is at the cost of the lives of those 5.
Well, what might be a problem too is that, you know, they pretty much have a monopoly on this, so they're only really competing with other countries.
Right.
They're not competing. Well, Elon Musk is trying to, you know, have a shuttle that goes to the moon or whatever, but, you know, there's not that many people that are competing to do what NASA is doing. And so they kind of get kind of a contentment with what they do, which is kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
True. That's all the questions. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Nope. Who's not going to be here next week?
I can look real quick.
I think
Am I
it's,
the group leader?
oh, Leo's the group leader.
Oh, Leo?
Leo is.
All right.
Oh, yay.
I'm going to be in Idaho, in Rexburg.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
You have kids going there?
I have 4 kids there right now,
Wow, I have 2.
Oh, wow.
including my son-in-law. So 3 kids and my son-in-law.
I have 2 and my daughter-in-law, but yeah. My son graduates this April.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
So do I, and so do my
Oh, fun.
my daughter and her husband. So,
How fun.
yeah.
This is it. You're done in April.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be done in April.